Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar session. I hope all of you can see my screen and you can hear me clearly and you can see me as well right now. Thank you all for joining this session. Thank you for your patience for waiting till the others join with us. Let's go ahead and look at what we have to learn today. Today is Fibonacci Day, and we thought it would be apt for us to talk about Fibonacci's and how Fibonacci is used in the trading world. For those of you who do not know about Fibonacci, it is going to be a very, very interesting topic to learn about. For those of you who already know what Fibonacci is, it is still going to be interesting because now you're going to see how Fibonacci kind of appears pretty much everywhere in life and in the trading charts as well. So before we move on, I just want to check if everyone can hear me one last time. Apologies, because in case there is any network issues, I do not want anybody to miss out on anything. We'll just take last 10 seconds. If anyone has any trouble hearing me, or if you cannot see my screen, please go ahead and take this 10 seconds to just drop a message in the chat. All right, perfect. I am guessing all of you all can hear me loud and clear. That's awesome. Let's move forward today. So there are two things that we'll be looking at today. One is Fibonacci, which is the main topic for the day. But then apart from the Fibonacci, there are few crucial things that investor or a trader or anyone who is planning on investing in the market should always keep in mind. That is the risk reward. Everything has a risk to it, everything has a reward to it, and most successful investors and traders always follow a disciplined manner in terms of how they achieve their trading goals or their investment goals. They always have a plan and they stick to the plan. Now Fibonacci and few other indicators that I'll be talking to you about today are indicators that can give us a direction, which can give us a double confirmation, which can give us a good level of entry in the market for us to enter and as well as exit. But what differentiates a successful trader from a trader or an investor who might not be able to find this levels interesting is how they manage the risk reward. Even if there is a pattern that is working for them, which gives you a hit ratio of 100 out of 100 with every trades that you take, still there needs to be a risk management, and that is very crucial that I will also be teaching in this particular topic today. Let's move forward, and before I forget, please give us your review on Google if you like this webinar, and if there is anything else that you like for us to talk to you about, please give us let us know, and we will try and cover those topics in the future. All right, let's start with the most basic technical analysis. So there are two types of analysis that people do. One is the fundamental analysis, and on the other side you have technical analysis. Just to break it down for those of you who are very, very new to trading or investing, fundamental analysis has to do with everything fundamentally about a particular company. For example, let's take Apple as a stock, and you want to do an analysis on Apple. So what is a fundamental analysis for Apple? You look at the product that they generate, you look at the scope of their future guidance and the scope of their future growth, looking at their financial statements, their revenue, and how well they have been performing for the last couple of years. And that will give you an overall view about what the company is about, and if you should invest your money in Apple as a company. Because now once you do your fundamental analysis, that you know that they sell their products, and their products are pretty much in demand even 5 years from now, and they are constantly innovating and being the best in the market. That gives investor the confidence, saying that, hey, I want to invest into Apple. As they grow, I would want my money to grow along with the company. Now this is what fundamental analysis does. But what does technical analysis do over here? So technical analysis has nothing to do with fundamental analysis. Technical analysis, in short, is basically price pattern that repeats itself. So for example, let's say there's a stock that is trading at $100, and you see it go to 120, and then a couple of days later it comes back to 102, and then you see it go back to 120, and then again a couple of days later or weeks later you see it come back down to 100. and again after a couple of weeks it goes to 120 and then comes back down to 100. Now you see a pattern over here, right? Now you, this basically, the example that I gave you was range bound, which is very difficult to find in the market. No, very hardly few instruments which move in range bound unless you're looking at it in a very short term time frame. Now in this example, you see the stock going up to 120, coming back to 100, going to 120, coming back to 100. Now, these are patterns where buyers and sellers do technical analysis on. They know when it goes to 120, it is at resistance. It is not breaking above 120. So, how does an investor or trader look at this price? If they have bought this particular stock or this particular instrument, they would look at exiting at 120, because based on the price historical movement of this particular stock, it has been dropping consistently at 120. Now, yes, of course, if it breaks above 120, that is a new level that it is creating, and people might look at taking a buy above 120. But as long as 120 is concerned, and based on historical data, you see 120 has always turn back towards the 100. So this is how technical traders look at price action movement and take advantage. Now, a few things that you can keep in mind in this example is there are sellers and there are buyers. So buyers always look to buy on the dip, sellers always look to sell on the highest point. Now, this is the most basic fundamental support resistance that a technical trader would look at. If you all have any questions as I'm going forward, please keep dropping your questions on the chat so that I will try and answer as many as questions possible before today's session ends. So hopefully I am clear so far. Let's move forward. There's another important indicator that, apart from jumping into Fibonacci, I want to talk about, which is the average true range. Basically, average true range is a tool. It is basically a technical indicator which evaluates a particular instrument, a stock, or a commodity's price movement in a given period of time. For example, let's say if you're looking at gold, and if you're looking at for the last 7 days or the last 30 days or last 1 month or last 12 months, it average true range is a tool that is available on the platform, which gives you the average movement that the gold does. For, let's say if you're looking at last 7 days, you want to know on a daily time frame how much does gold move. ATR is the tool that gives you this price action. Now, why is average true range important for us? Because we need to understand based on the objective that a investor or a trader has. There are some investors who look at buying today and holding on to it for the next 6 months to even 5 years. So they fall under medium to long term category. But we also have certain investors who try to look at a short term range, probably a week's time. There are ultra short term who look at daily movements, who look at the next 30 minutes. Now, if I want to invest my money in gold for the next, let's say, 6 months, I need to know in 6 months how much gold can actually move. Just to get an idea, can gold move $100 in a 6 months time frame? If yes, is it worth it for me to invest my money and wait for that $100 move to happen, or can something else give me more than gold? Let's say against gold, let's look at Tesla. Can Tesla move $100 in 6 months? Tesla can move $100 in probably a week. So now ATR helps us understand how many dollars a specific instrument can move and helps you align with the objective that you have for yourself. I hope everyone's clear on ATR. Let's look at a couple of examples on ATR. Do not worry about this particular instrument. We are looking at a monthly time frame. So basically, this is SPX 500. SPX 500, it's a historical data. It's not the present data. I will show you a couple of live examples as well. Now, if you look at SPX 500 on a monthly time frame, at the bottom level is where it shows my ATR, this white line that you guys can see at the bottom. Now, you see in 2000, 2005, 2010, 2015, the ATR was somewhere in the range of 120. So that means every month, the maximum you can expect this particular instrument to move is about $120. Okay, a small disclaimer over here. Now, when I say it can move $120, it is not indicating a direction for us. It is just telling us how many dollars can SPX move in a monthly time frame. So it can be $120 downward, or it can be $120 on the upside, or it can be $60 downward and $60 on the upside. So it does not give us indication of the direction, but it just gives me a good understanding of how many dollars can SPX move. Now, as of in 2020, mid of 2020, SPX moves about $250. That is almost double of what we saw a couple of years back. So that means there are more opportunities on SPX on a monthly time frame, because it is giving you more in terms of dollar value. Okay, now let's look at a smaller time frame on the same instrument. Now I'm looking at the same instrument on a weekly time frame. Now on a weekly time frame, you see the instrument moves about $60 in the past. As of recent, it moves about $120. Not bad. Even on a weekly time frame, you can expect SPX to move about $120. So if you're a weekly trader, you can look at investing in SPX. Your risk reward is got to do with this $120. I'll show you how to keep your stop losses, take profit, how to take advantage of the move in your favor, and how to come out of the trade when it is not going in your favor using the ATR. Now coming to the daily time frame, we came from month, weekly to daily. Now people who look at trying to take daily movement, now you see SPX moves about $51 a day. So basically, if you invest or if you buy one unit or one quantity of SPX 500, it can go in your favor by $50. It can go against you by $50 as of recent. Now 30 minutes, even more smaller time frame, you see it can move only $4. So $4 pretty much is not going to make too much of an impact in terms of your returns. But it is good to know if you're doing a very short-term trade. You need to understand all the time frames, and you need to understand how many dollars a given instrument can move. Again, I will show you this on a live example so that it is more clear for you while we are taking, and I'll try and take a couple of live trades if the opportunity comes up. Now, let's come to the most important and exciting part of today, that is Fibonacci. Again, for those of you who do not know about Fibonacci, do not get overwhelmed with the word Fibonacci. Fibonacci is the name of the person who found it out. But I'll make it very simple to understand what Fibonacci is. Fibonacci is basically a series of numbers starting with 0 and 1. Okay, you add your last two numbers, you get your third number. So you have an example over here. You have 0 1, you add 0 plus 1, you get 1. You had 1 plus 1, you get 2, 1 plus 2 3, 2 plus 3 5, 5 plus 3 8, 8 plus 5 13, and it goes on to infinite. Right, now this is known as the Fibonacci series. Now, why is Fibonacci series that important? Does it actually have that much of importance in our lives? Let's look at a couple of examples where we actually bump into Fibonacci in our day-to-day life. Now, okay, this is a fun fact. Fibonacci sequence, also known as the golden ratio, appears a lot in nature. Patterns such as spirals of shell, curve of waves, sea heads, pine cones, branches of trees can all be described using the mathematical sequence. A small homework for you all: if you can find a 10 or 15-minute video on Fibonacci, just the fun side of it, try and YouTube it. There are a lot of fun things you can learn from Fibonacci. I'm going to be covering a couple of them, so I hope these examples also give you or show you the importance of where Fibonacci and this mathematical sequence actually appears in life. So basically, the fact that all things as large as spirals of galaxy and as small as DNA molecules follow the golden ratio. So basically, Fibonacci always has this golden ratio that follows, that we will see even on our trading platform, which I will show you in the next couple of minutes, right? So Fibonacci sequence is one of the most fundamental characteristics of the universe. Now, there's a lot of debate around this. It is completely up to you how you're going to do your research, and how far do you think you would believe in Fibonacci or you would not want to believe in Fibonacci. But there are a lot of practical examples that you can do in your day-to-day life where you actually see these Fibonacci appear in everything around you in your nature. A couple of examples I'm going to show you right now. Okay, Fibonacci in nature, this is a geometrical representation. So basically, I'm sorry if it's very small for your screen, but you can see over here there are two tiny one square, which forms this two square, and then 2 plus 3 forms this 5, and this 3 plus 5 forms 8. 8 plus 13 forms 21. 13 plus 21 forms 34, and this can go on infinite. Right now you can see how well all these boxes fit into each other, and the spiral that you see is just basically a connection between all the corners of these boxes. Right, just keep that in your mind. You will get to see more of these spirals probably in the future. Now one more example is a tree. Now most of you might have a garden in your house, or you might have a small plant, indoor plant. uh, an experiment that you can do is count the number of leaves that is there on each branch, or count the number of branches that a particular tree has, or a small plant could have. If you notice that either the number of leaves or the number of branches will always follow a Fibonacci sequence. The main trunk of this tree is one big trunk, which is split into two, and those get split into three. And if you notice, these are Fibonacci numbers. Now again, this is just an experiment that you can do at home. I hope you have plants at home so you can count. Usually, smaller plants have about 5 leaves on each branch or each stem. So it's quite interesting if you look at it even at home. Now, Fibonacci number in nature, this is basically a sunflower. If you can see these spirals, unfortunately, we could not put the numbers on these spirals because it's very minute, but these spirals pretty much follow this geometrical sequence, right? So much so, our entire galaxy has the same spiral that follows Fibonacci series. Now, most of them come to a conclusion saying that this is the fingerprint of God. There is a superior being who has created everything with a certain criteria, and hence you see these patterns appear in life. Now, again, that is up to you to what you want to believe, but then these are what we can see through science and through these mathematical sequence, that pretty much Fibonacci, the sequence, these numbers appear everywhere, from your geometric, from your algorithms. If you're a computer software engineer, I'm sure you would have learned about Fibonacci even with your codings. So everything that you do has Fibonacci in it, whether we like it or not. Right now, these are these basically, I took you through this just to show you if Fibonacci does appear everywhere in the universe, in the surroundings. Would it also appear on the trading platforms? uh, okay, here we have a small representation of the universe. So would it also appear in our trading platforms? Yes, it does. When I say trading platform, I'm talking about the charts, the price movement. Now, of course, we do not see a particular stock go up in price jump of a Fibonacci series. Now, each stock has its own pricing based on its own fundamentals. Now, what we can look at is the ratio of the moment. Now, let me just come back to my initial screen. So we have this series of numbers. Now, like I was giving an example that a stock does not go from 1 to 2 and 2 to 5 and 5 to 13, and it does not follow that strictly a number of a Fibonacci. But what we look at a stock market, or when you put your money in the bank, what are you looking at? You're looking at returns. And what kind of returns are you looking at? Are you looking at returns in the aspect of the numbers of returns, or are you looking at your returns on the percentage basis? So basically, everything to do with finance surrounds with percentages. How much percentage of profit, how much percentage of risk, how much percentage of returns can a person make in a given time frame? So everything is in percentage basis. So when we look at Fibonacci, we need to convert these Fibonacci into percentages so that we understand, okay, now if I'm going to be buying Apple, I'm going to buy Apple when it gives me a 50% discount. So when it goes back up, let's say Apple from 100 went to 200, and now from 200 it is back to 100. Now that you see Apple is dropped by 50% and you buy it at 100. Now, when Apple goes back from 100 to 150, you're making almost 50% return over there, although it has not gone back to 200. So Fibonacci is not looked at it on financial markets with the absolute numbers, but with the ratios. Now, very quickly, I'll show you how to calculate the ratios. If you all have a calculator with you or a mobile in your hand, let's do a couple of calculations which will help you understand how the Fibonacci ratios is formed. Now, very interesting thing that we kept talking about was the golden ratio. So the key Fibonacci ratio is 61.8, which is also known as the golden ratio. Now, how do we get 61.8? Very simple. Let's go back to our Fibonacci series. If you take any of these number, any of your first number, let's say for example you take 233 divided by 377 multiplied by 100, you should get 61.8. Okay, now let's take an example of another number, and this time I will not give you the answer. You do it on your mobile or on your calculator if you have one. Will take about 30 seconds to do this. Take any of the numbers, let's say 10,946 divided by 17,711 multiplied by 100, and you can put your answers in the chat box, please. Again, you can take any of the starting number. You can take 144 divided by 233 into 100, or you can take a bigger number, 121393 divided by 196418 into 100. So basically, any number from where you take the first number divided by second number, you should get 61.8. So I'm guessing most of you all are doing it. Yes, you're getting 61.8. Some of you all have got 0.618. That is okay. You need to multiply it by 100. So you get 61.8. Multiply it by 100 because we are looking at it in percentage wise. Perfect. So I'm guessing all of you all saw where your 61.8 came from. Now, there are few other ratios that we can look at on Fibonacci, but let's keep our eyes fixed on the golden ratio for today. And I will show you the other ratios as well and how you can use to take advantage of the markets. Let's keep an eye on 61.8 and look at the next following examples. Now, this is Apple, pretty much everyone's favorite. Everyone has to have Apple in their portfolio, and they would like to hold it. Now, Apple, being Apple, is a good company to buy fundamentally, but is it a good company to buy right now? Now, this is where technical analysis always helps you out. Now, you see, Apple had dropped previously over here during 2013, and then 2014 or 2013 and onwards, you see Apple rising up. So the lines that you see over here is the Fibonacci line that I have drawn, but I will show you how to do this on the platform as well. You see the prices jumped up, okay, and then it has dropped back down. Now, let's say if we were an investor or if you were a daily trader who happened to come and try to look at buying Apple at this point of time. Now, for if you're a daily trader or if you are a short-term trader, you would not be looking at a monthly time frame. A monthly time frame is usually looked at by an investor who looks to buy and hold for maybe next 2 to 3 years. Now, since we are looking at a monthly time frame, let's look at an investor point of view. If an investor came, excuse me, let's say an investor came in 2014 and looks at Apple looks like an attractive buy, and he ends up buying over here. Yes, in this case it went up, it made a good profit. Hopefully he booked a profit over here before Apple dropped back down. In the case where he bought and Apple dropped back down, so whatever profit he gained, all the way from 2014 end till down, it's gone back into the market. But now let's look at a disciplined investor, what he would do in case he was using Fibonacci. Now, a disciplined investor would wait for a correction in the market. Basically, he waits for the discount. Let's say when you guys go shopping, I do not know each one of you all, but then you have a lot of sales that happen during the end of the year, during the beginning of the year, and people wait for these sales because they can buy the same product that they wanted at a much cheaper price, so that they save up on more of their this one, so that they can buy more products. Similarly, Apple, if you have to buy an Apple stock, why buy it when the prices are rising? Why not wait for Apple to drop and then buy? Now, drawdown over here is, what if Apple never drops? What if Apple just continues going up and if I miss the bus? So that downside is always there, but at the same time, you can protect yourself from any unprecedented downside also if you wait for it to drop first and buy it. In the meanwhile, if Apple has not dropped, there is still 10,000 other stocks that you can look at to buy. In the meanwhile, well, you wait for Apple to drop. Now let's look at how Apple performed over here. Apple went up, takes a U-turn in the beginning of 2015, starts dropping. There was a huge drop over here. It came to a certain level and it started bouncing back up. Now let's look at Fibonacci. Basically, this is okay. One important thing I forgot to mention to you all is, when you are measuring Fibonacci, like I mentioned to you all, we look at the percentages. Now you always look at the trend in the market. You measure the trend. When the trend finishes is when you understand it is reversing. So in this case, you see there was a downtrend. The downtrend pretty much finished here, and a new trend has begun with these green candlesticks. So hence I measured Fibonacci all the way from the beginning of the trend to end of the trend. Now on this particular trend, Fibonacci, it shows it has dropped back down to 61.8. Now assume this is a product where the price range is trading from, in this case, at that point of time, it was $15 to $33. It has come back down to $22. So pretty much you're getting the same Apple you could have bought at a higher price. You're getting it at a very good discounted price, and hence you look at buying on 61.8. Now a lot of questions, why not buy on other ratios? We'll look at the other ratios later, but 61.8, since it is the golden ratio and it gives you a much better opportunity in terms of profitability. 61.8 is something that a investor could look at. Again, there is no restriction for you entering on 50% or 38%. It depends on investor to investor. Now let's look at what happened after 2016. So let's assume someone bought it at 2016. It has jumped up. Now we are here in the next slide. We are still in 2016. This is where the investor had gotten. Price moves up all the way from 22 to 57. That's almost more than 100% jump. And then you see again there's a downward trend that took place in Apple. Now if you look at this, the trend began from the bottom. There was a new trend. I measured the trend all the way from the new trend beginning till where it ended. It comes back down and bounces back up. Where did it bounce back up from? Again, 61.8. I know this might look magical to you, but it is not always the case. So I will show you a couple of examples on live chart. At the same time, I will not choose the product. I will let you choose the product and we can look at those products. Now we are looking at Apple again from 2019 after this big drop that we saw. This was the drop here, 2018 end. Yeah, 2018 end. You see this drop and a new trend began. It went up. 2020 pandemic hit. Now you see market dropped. The entire market dropped when the pandemic hit, but Fibonacci still held. It came back down 61.8, and it was a good buying opportunity again from here, and Apple has moved up from there ever since. Now why am I showing you Apple? One is because it is the most traded stock. Second, if you look at a monthly time frame, monthly always gives you a much more less noisy view. And third, I did not talk about fundamentals at all. I did not tell you why the particular stock dropped and what was the reason for the drop. This was purely technical. We were just going with the trend. When the trend ended, I just measured the Fibonacci to see where I can buy it back. It gave you a 61.8 level. If you had to put a buy order here, it would have triggered and gone back up. So what happens with the technical analysis is you will not be taken or you won't be confused with the noise that it creates while the market is dropping, especially in 2020 when the market crashed. Everyone at this point of time, there are two views people would have had. One is fear of buying, because we are in a pandemic, the entire world is going on shutdown. What more can go worse? In fact, at that point of time, all the news that were slowly coming out, or in fact most of the news that was coming out, we're talking about recession, right? Now if a recession is going to come, why would somebody buy it at this price, right? So that is a fear. And the other side of it, like people like Warren Buffett, a long-term investor, they would look at this as an opportunity. Yes, maybe there could be a recession, maybe there could be more downside in the market, but they look at it as an opportunity and they have their own reasons to buy. Now, let's say we put out the noise of whatever the news channels are saying or whatever is happening, but you just purely stick to your technical aspect. Market went up, it has given a drop, it has come back to 61.8, you entered, and ever since Apple has pretty much been rallying. I will show you the live prices of Apple right now, you will be shocked. So because of pandemic, a lot of people might not enter this price, because of course every news that you read is telling you to be careful. On the other hand, Fibonacci did not give you any news. It just gave you the levels, and you just follow the levels with the discipline that you. I will show you how to follow Fibonacci. And when you, let's say you happen to buy here, it does not mean you buy here with no risk management. Risk management is a must, no matter how accurate Fibonacci or how many times, how well the hit ratio is, no matter how many times you made money using Fibonacci. Stop loss is always mandatory and risk management is always needed for every strategy that you take. So on that note, that is where we'll end with Fibonacci. Harmonic patterns is a slightly advanced version of Fibonacci. Basically, it is derived from Fibonacci. I will not dive very deep into it because we just have another 20 minutes left. So in the next 20 minutes, I will try and cover some live trading and show you how to do your risk management when you take live trades using Fibonacci. But just to cover harmonics very quickly, I will show you what harmonics are. Basically, harmonics are geometrical patterns formed through Fibonacci. I'll show you with an example over here. Okay, so according to Gartley, the person who found out these patterns, he was able to solve two of the biggest problems: what and when to buy or sell. Okay, so basically, when to buy or when not to buy, or if you already bought, when to sell or when not to sell. The other way to look at it, if you already bought and it is going against you, when to exit as well. So, investing and being a successful investor or a trader always comes down to the risk management that you take. So, a lot of investors depend on portfolio managers to take care of their risk. Over here, you are going to be your own manager, you are going to be your own portfolio manager. So no matter how many analysts say buy recommendations, you might see buy recommendation from Goldman Sachs, you might see buy recommendation from Reuters, all the big names, JP Morgan. Even if all of them have given a buy rating, still it requires a risk management, that is when to exit when things are not going as per the analyst recommendations. Now, looking at okay, so coming back to what to buy and sell. Now, looking at harmonic patterns is not just, we just looked at one side of the market. We saw market going up and then market dropping back down, and here you take a buy on 61.8. But when it comes to harmonic pattern, you do not do anything until and unless all these points meet. For example, market went up, okay, X is the starting point, it went up, it dropped from A to B. From A to B, it came back to 61.8. Now, this is a good level to buy as per the harmonic, as per the Fibonacci trade. But a harmonic trader would not buy at 61.8. He would wait. He will wait for it to go back up. And when it goes back up, he will measure A to B, and it has to go back up between 38.2 and 88.6. These are the other the other ratios for Fibonacci. And if it manages to hold these levels and from here it drops back down to the D point, when you measure B to C, it has to come back down to 161.8 or 78.6 of this entire X2A. So if all these points meet, then the probability of it going back up is 80 to 90%. And hence, these kind of traders wait for these opportunities to enter. They do not rush into any trade. They wait for all these levels to meet. If these levels do not meet, they do not take a trade, and that is what makes it much more safer. One second advantage of these kind of trades is risk reward. Let's say someone happened to see this particular pattern come into place and they take a buy at D. They keep a stop loss right below D. Let's say the stop loss is roughly about $100. If the $100 mark is coming somewhere here right below D, imagine how much of profit they will make when it goes above this entire pattern. So $100 risk, probably they might end up making $1,000 profit. So that is 1:10 risk reward. That is amazing returns. So hence a lot of patience is required when you do harmonic pattern. I will try and show you a harmonic patterns if I find today on a live trade. It's very difficult to find one, but if we do find one, it's very difficult to find one on a short-term time frame. On a long-term time frame, of course, it will take a long time for you to see the result, but I'll try to find one on a very short-term time frame. Meanwhile, if you all have any doubts, please shoot your questions in the chat. I will just shift my screen to the live charts right now. Okay, a couple of old questions. What is the best time frame for ATR? So ATR does not have a specific time frame. ATR's time frame depends on the objective that you have for your particular trade. If you're looking at capturing a move on a particular instrument, let's say for example Tesla, for next 30 minutes, then you look at a 30-minute time frame and the ATR will give you how much it can move in a 30-minute time frame. That's a good question. I will show it to you on live chart as well. Few other questions. Okay, I think rest of them are answers from the Fibonacci. That's good. Let me just share my live account. Sorry, a demo account. But the prices are live, so pretty much if you are already trading, do not take these trades. It depends on your risk reward, how much margins. So this is just for demonstration. Please do not take any of these trades. For more detailed info on these trades, you can contact your consultants before you take it. For those of you who do not have an account and who are very new, if you have a demo account, you can go ahead and take the trades on the demo. But if not, I would recommend just focus on what I'm doing over here. That will help you a lot. Now let's look at Apple is already open. Let me close Apple. Before I move forward, is there any specific instrument? Like I showed you all Apple, so probably I could be biased on showing Apple with Fibonacci. Let me just show you Apple again on Fibonacci, the monthly charts that I've been showing you all this while. Oops, sorry. Okay, here's the chart. Here's my 2020 Fibonacci, the last that we had seen. So where do you find Fibonacci? Once you go into your platform, once you find your product, you open your chart. Once your chart is opened, you find draw tools. So in your draw tools at the bottom, once you click on draw tools, you get Fibonacci. There is Fibonacci extension. Excuse me. There are a lot of other indicators. You do not need to go into them. The first Fibonacci, and very simple. Every time you see bottom to top, this is what we saw in 2019. It went up. 2020 pandemic drop. It came back to 61.8. Now it is pretty much here, right? So buying Apple today might be a no-no for a long-term investor, because maybe he might miss out in case it goes up. Maybe he might miss out maybe another 15-20%. But think about what would happen if the market comes back down to 61.8. He might risk 41% just to make a return of 12%, 20% on the upside. And again, which could happen, not that it could not happen, which could even go up by another 40%. There is high chances that it could if there is no disruption in the market. But we need to stay tuned with the current market scenarios as well, to see if Apple from today's price can it go up by 40%. From my view, I don't see it going up that high. But what I would do is I would rather wait for let it go however high it wants. Let's say currently Apple is trading at 160. Let's say I do not know at what price Apple is going to turn. Now that is something that we will not be able to predict. On Fibonacci, it gives you an approximate level where it can turn around, but we'll not get into that. It will become too confusing. But let's say, for example sake, Apple goes up to 190. Okay, and then that is where it decides to start turning around. So it doesn't matter where it starts turning around. For me, what matters is from wherever it turns around, I want it to come back down till 61.8. And that is where I'm going to start buying Apple. Now I'm looking at a monthly time frame. So obviously this downside might happen in the next 6 months or probably in the next 1 year. I'm looking at it as an investor perspective. Now, if I look at the same thing on a short-term time frame, then it will give me a different view for a shorter time frame. Now, I hope you all understood how to draw Fibonacci. I will just show you one more time Fibonacci. You get it from your draw tools. You click on Fibonacci, you choose, you need to look at a significant rally, and that is your measuring point. Now let's go all the way back. Let's start from here. This is 2013. Rally began here, rally ended here. So if I can zoom that in, yeah. Pretty much it came back down. Then it began a new rally. Now let's say I'm an investor who came here. So I look at this. Okay. Now this dropped. Now that is over. Now we look at the next rally. It dropped. This is over. Now I'm looking at this current rally, which is not yet done. So I'm waiting for the 61.8 to happen. I hope you understood how to use Fibonacci. Now let's do the same thing on a particular chart. Does crypto also follow Fibonacci? See, in my experience, crypto, I feel it does follow, but it is too volatile, it is too erratic, so it might miss some levels. But then, of course, since we saw Fibonacci, which appears pretty much everywhere, I am sure Fibonacci should appear on cryptos as well. Let's look at Bitcoin itself. Okay, now we have a lot of movements on Bitcoin. I'm just changing my candlestick. Do not worry about it. I will show you probably in the next session why I choose a different candlestick. Technically, if I do a normal candlestick, it shows me a lot of green and red. Heikinashi is more of trend. It shows me either a green trend or a red trend. So it helps me identify levels easily. Let's look at, okay, this was the biggest move that has happened on Bitcoin. I'm looking at a weekly chart. Trend began pretty much somewhere from this level here. Trend ended here. Oops, that's the wrong. Yeah, so Fibonacci here. Trend begins here, trend ends here. Now let's look at, I'll make this bigger. Perfect. So you can see trend began from here. I could take all the way from here, but then I do not consider this as trend. Pretty much, if you look at it, trend began from here onwards. So that's why I'm measuring from this low to this bottom. Sorry, this bottom to this top. And if you see, it came down to 31,000, bounced back up. Why did it bounce back up from here? There was 61.8. Now let's look at the current trend. Sorry, not the current trend. There was a small trend here, right? So the trend pretty much began from this green candlestick. This was July 2021. Market went up, dropped. It bounced back up from this level. This level again, if you look at it, it is 61.8. Now, currently we are here. This is the new trend. November 2027, on 7th of November is where it had made a high. It is coming back down, shows good entry at this price. Sorry. Solid line, yeah. So if you can see this yellow line here, so 54 100 is what is showing as 61.8 for anyone who wants to buy it back. Again, I'm looking at a weekly time frame. Now you can change the time frame to smaller time frames to suit your objective if you're looking at a smaller time frame move. I just remembered I did not cover ATR. Let me show you how ATR works. Let me show it to you on Bitcoin itself. So for ATR, right next to draw tools, you have technicals. You click on technicals, you get overlays and studies. So do not worry about searching through all these indicators. You can go to search button, type ATR. It'll give you ATR. Click on ATR. It opens up my ATR. Now let's look at Bitcoin Cash on weekly time frame. On weekly, if you look at it, Bitcoin at one point of time used to move about $1,100 till 2021. Ever since 2021, Bitcoin is on a weekly time frame is moving anywhere between 5,000 and as of today it is moving up to $6,820 in a single week. Why is this important for us? Now let's say if I happen to buy Bitcoin, let's do an example here. So I know this is my last rally that has happened on Bitcoin on Fibonacci. Okay, let me take this. And I want to take a buy if it comes to 34,100. Right now it is 54,100. Right now it is still at 57,200, so it's not a good level to buy because it's not come to 61.8. But let's, for the sake of example, let's say I buy 1 unit. Okay, 1 unit is a lot for my current account value. So anyone who has $10,000, maximum I would recommend you to buy is 0.05 or 0.1. Still aggressive. $5,000 in one instrument is not recommended, but for example's sake, I'm just going to keep it with 1 unit for now. Take profit, stop loss, and market order. Sorry, this does not have a limit order. Let's for the example's sake, we decide to buy at current market price. Let's assume it is at 61.8 and you buy it here. Now you're going to be buying 1 unit, and you see the price has already dropped. Let's look at how much points it has dropped by. It has dropped by $6,660 this week. I think this will be too confusing. Let me just close all of this. Okay. Perfect. So now we understand that Bitcoin moves $6,800 in a week. That is one. Second is I'm just measuring with my measure tool over here, price from my draw tools. I'm measuring from the time it opened, this candle opened, and to where the price is right now, and also till where the price has gone down. So now the price has gone down this week by almost $6,380. So if I happen to buy Bitcoin right now, let's say I buy 1 unit of Bitcoin, I keep a take profit. Now I know Bitcoin can move how many dollars in my favor? 6,500 or $6,800 in my favor. So that means by the end of this week or next week, starting today, 7 days from now, with the average movement on Bitcoin could probably go back up by $6,800. How do I know it can go back up by $6,800? That is what my ATR shows me, right? That is why ATR is helpful. Second thing, stop loss. Now, if I'm expecting to make $6,800, I need to have minimum $6,800 as my risk. Okay, which is 1:1. You're risking $6,000 to make $6,000. Now, for those of you all who do not want to do such big units, let me make it smaller one. I'll make it 0.1 unit. Okay, so that becomes 680. 680. Okay, instead of 1 unit, you're investing $5,000. If the price goes back up, you make about $680. Okay. If it comes down, you lose $680. Now, the best part is for this week, Bitcoin is already come down by $6,400. So I don't necessarily need to risk $680. I can pull my stop loss a little higher. Maybe I can risk $300. Okay, to make a return of $680. So now this is 1:2. You're risking $300 to make almost $700 return. Right now, the same thing if you do it on 1 unit. So you're risking $3,000 to make a return of $6,800. So if you notice your risk reward, the level, the price, everything remains the same irrespective of how many units I take. If I take 0. 0.1 unit, my take profit is still going to be at the same price, except that my risk reward becomes lesser. Okay. Any questions so far on ATR and risk reward? So if I'm getting the question wrong, why 6,800? I think you typed in that question where I was explaining why 6,800. If you missed that part out, 6,800 because it moves 6,800 in a week. That is why we spoke about ATR, average to range. If you're looking at a weekly trade, how many dollars can cryptos move in a week? $6,800. So that means there is an opportunity for me to make $6,800 or also lose $6,800. In this week, it has already come down by $6,800. Sorry, $6,400. So downside, pretty much the move has happened. And second is my entry is not because this move has happened. My entry is going to be on Fibonacci. So technically, if the price of Bitcoin comes to 61.8, that is where I'm going to take an action. Right now, I just showed you an example of how you can buy to keep stop loss and take profit, and how you determine your stop loss and take profit. All right, now let's look at another instrument. Let's look at SPX. SPX being the broader index of US. SPX pretty much is the top 500 companies of US. So SPX is always used as the benchmark to see how the market conditions are in for US. And of course, even the other countries follow SPX because it is more of a benchmark. Everyone tries to beat SPX, the return it gives, especially fund managers who manage funds in the US look to beat the returns on SPX. Now, SPX is very important. Reason being, it has the top 500 companies. So whichever direction SPX is moving, it shows you the strength or the weakness in the market. Currently, you see SPX is dropping. And this is on a daily chart. Now let's look at something on a short-term time frame if we have any opportunity. Now on a short-term time frame, we see a lot of big moves that is happening. Sideway movement, there is not much trend. There was this big swing upside. So I am trying to find a trade for now. Let's look at Apple, maybe, or Tesla. Tesla gives some good moves. For an example today, wow, okay, Tesla is coming down. Let's look at a 30-minute time frame on Tesla. I'm going to change it to Heikinashi. Heikinashi, okay, you see a trend over here. So there's a good one. Let's look at trend began here, trend ended here. Perfect. It is exactly on 61.8, which is awesome for a trade. Now it is also awesome for us to learn how to keep a stop loss and take profit. I will just show you how that is done. Okay, don't worry, I just changed couple of ratios. I removed all the ones that we do not need and kept the one that we need. Now let's quickly do it before we miss the price. Let's go to technicals, search for ATR. ATR, perfect. ATR is showing me that Tesla moves about Tesla can move about $19 in a 30-minute time frame. Let's look at 1 hour time frame. In a 1 hour time frame, it moves about $26. Okay, now you have an idea of how much Tesla can move in the next 30 minutes to 1 hour. You can even look at 4 hours. In 4 hours, Tesla can move about $40. Okay, now we have these numbers in mind. Keep that in mind. Let's come back to 30 minutes for us to take an intraday trade. The Currently, the price is below 61.8. That's okay. That's not a problem. Let's take a buy quickly and I will show you how to keep a stop loss. Let's say you buy Tesla worth 10 units, which is worth $11,000. Take profit, stop loss. Now we understand ATR. We understand how much it can move, right? So according to the ATR, it can move about $20. So right now the price is at 110, sorry, 120, 1,120. So I need to keep a stop loss of at least 1,100. So that's about 20 points, right? That's going to be my stop loss. And take profit about, pretty much it has dropped. Let's say again about 20 points higher. Risk reward again, 20 points lower, 20 points higher. So you're risking $200 to make a return of $200. Now in this case, now we understand that again Tesla has already dropped by 20 points. So you can always increase your take profit. Like I said, on a 4-hour chart, it can go back up. ATR shows about $40. So let's say I can, since we are looking at short term, so $40 from the current market price. $40 from the current market price is around 1,155. Perfect. So I put a Fibonacci level over here, 88.6. That is the ideal level to keep a stop loss. Now in this case, you're risking $220 to make about $400. Good risk reward ratio. Everything looks good. Signal we've got. We saw a rally. It has come to 61.8. You're taking a buy based on Fibonacci. You're keeping your stop loss, take profit based on ATR, confirm buy, and I shall place this market order. Okay, so we've taken this market order. Now in this case, you have a stop loss, you have a take profit. Now let's say in the case where the market starts coming in your favor, you can always increase your take profit, right? You can always increase your take profit and click on modify. Now in this case, you had risked about $200 to make a return of $700. $700, is it a possibility? Let's look at a daily time frame. On a daily time frame, Tesla moves about $55. On a weekly time frame, Tesla moves about $88. So pretty much if we hold on to it long enough, you should be able to make this $700 with a risk of $250. But worst case scenario, you have your risk management in place, and that is going to stop in case it drops further, and it can drop further. There is no guarantee because it is 61.8 and it is Fibonacci, it should work. It can drop further and then you look for the next opportunity. Now, since we've taken this opportunity, I'll let it be. Before we close, we'll see where the markets are. Any other instrument? Okay, Dow and Nasdaq. Nasdaq, Dow, both are very dangerous instruments, which I would recommend to stay away as much as possible. But then let's see if I can find any opportunities on Dow or Nasdaq. 30 minutes looks like it has a very short-term trade. Yeah. So this not specifically a rally. It looks more on a short-term sideway range. But if I look at it on a 5-minute chart, yes, it looks like a big rally. So let's do this quickly before the price goes. ATR for Dow Jones. Okay, so the ATR says in a 10-minute time frame, Dow Jones can move $56. That is very big move. So on Fibonacci, it is giving you a signal of 61.8 to buy. Let's take a buy. Let's say you buy 1 unit. Stop loss will be at 88.6. Okay, I will tell you why 88.6. 30 minutes, it moves about $70. So let's say in a 1 hour time frame, it should move about $92. Perfect. So 88.6 is the next Fibonacci ratio after 61.8, and that is the ideal place for you to keep a stop loss if you're not following the ATR. But if you're following the ATR, you can, knowing the instrument, I would keep double the ATR because US 30 moves quite volatile, like I showed you in a daily time frame. US 30 can move easily about $300, right? So if it can move $300 in a 10-minute time frame, for it to come down by $55 is not a big deal. So a stop loss of $100, a reward of $110, 1:1 is a good trade. Let me take this trade. Again, I'm just doing this very quickly because we don't want to miss the price. But what I want you all to learn is not the profitability of this. What I want you all to understand is when to decide to enter. Make sure that entry is always on 61.8. In this case, it is not, because I was trying to explain the prices already jumped up, but it is always best to enter on 61.8, best to keep your stop loss on 88.6. And on the reverse side, which I hadn't showed you till now, you can always measure top to bottom, and you can keep your take profit on 61.8 or 88.6, modify. So in this case, you have take profit about $150, stop loss about $120, which is still decent, I feel, in terms of risk reward. All right. So we have already passed 8 o'clock, and I hope I covered most of the questions that you all had. Tesla Motors is what we had taken initially on 61.8. It is slowly climbing up, still a long way for it to go up. But again, it gave us a good signal. Why? I did not look at what is happening in Tesla. I did not look at what is happening in the markets today. Although that is very, very important to know what is happening. I am not saying forget about fundamentals. Fundamentals is very, very crucial. But when you're doing a technical based trade, you should always have a discipline of stop loss. Even if you do not keep a take profit, that is still okay to an extent, but always have a stop loss. Second thing is when you make a small return, like for example, now Tesla was making a profit of I think about $40-50. Now it is tempting for me to close this profit and then buy back again. Now that is not discipline. Discipline is where I either wait for my target or at least wait for my loss to cover. So I am taking a risk of $250. I would rather wait for it to make at least $250 for me to exit. A lot of people do not put stop losses, and when it comes to profit, they end up booking profits much earlier than keeping where their stop losses were, and versus when there is no stop loss. So stop loss is unlimited, but profit is always going to be a small limited portion. In that case, the growth in investment is never going to happen, because it is impossible for an investment to grow when profits are being booked too early and when there is no risk management, when the losses are being taken. So when it comes to technical analysis, the most crucial thing is your risk management and the discipline to follow the strategy as it is and not modify it according to the bias or according to what we feel or according to what we want. So that if that can be overcome, then basically you would be successful in all your trading strategies. And I hope you all enjoyed this session today. Please do not forget to give us your review on Google, and also please give your feedback on the chat so that next time I would be able to cover more. And if there is anything that you want to tell me, if you want me to slow it down, or if all the information that I gave you was clear for you all, please do write that in the chat so that it will help me to deliver better seminars and webinars to you. Thank you again for taking time out and attending today's session. I hope you all have a good evening, and God bless you. Take care.